Welcome back to the channel, and if you are completely new here, a special welcome to you. In our last episode, we wrapped up our look at the 52-week high and low, exploring how stock prices fluctuate between their yearly peaks and valleys. But we are going one step deeper, stripping away all the complex charts and market noise to answer the most fundamental question of all: what is a stock? If you have never bought a single share of stock in your life, if you do not have a finance degree, and if the mere thought of Wall Street jargon makes your head spin, you are in the exact right place. This video is designed specifically for complete beginners. We are going to build your knowledge from absolute zero. To help us understand this, we are going to look at a company you have probably heard a lot about, Palantir Technologies, which trades under the ticker symbol PLTR. Think about this for a moment. Do you actually know what you own when you buy a single share of Palantir? Do you own a desk at their headquarters? Do you own a line of their software code? Or is it just a digital ticket that bounces up and down in value on your phone screen? In this episode, we are going to demystify all of this. We will cover the exact definition of stock ownership, use real-world math with Palantir to show you how the numbers actually work, expose the ultimate beginner mistake that drains bank accounts every single day, and teach you how to think like a true business owner. By the end of this video, you will not just understand what a stock is. You will have the confidence to look at any company on the market and know exactly what a share represents and whether it is worth your hard-earned money. Let us get started. Let us start with the absolute basics. What is a stock? In the simplest terms possible, a stock represents a tiny piece of fractional ownership in a real, living, breathing corporation. When you buy a share of a stock, you are not just buying a ticker symbol or a blip on a computer screen. You are legally buying a slice of that company's physical assets, its intellectual property, its daily profits, and its future growth. To make this stick, let us use an analogy. Imagine a giant, delicious pizza. This is not just any pizza. It is a massive pizza that represents the entire value of a company like Palantir. This pizza is so incredibly large that no single average investor could ever afford to buy the whole thing. So, the founders of the company decide to cut this pizza into millions or even billions of microscopic slices. Each of those microscopic slices is a single share of stock. When you go onto a brokerage app and buy one share of Palantir, you are buying one of those tiny slices. Now, buying one slice does not mean you can walk into Palantir's offices, sit in the chief executive officer's chair, and tell everyone what to do. You do not own the whole pizza, but you do legally own your tiny slice. Because you own that slice, you are legally entitled to your proportionate share of the company's success. If the company makes a profit, your slice becomes more valuable. If the company decides to pay out some of its cash to its owners, which is called a dividend, you get your exact share of that cash. You also get a say, through voting rights, in how the pizza is made, such as voting on who sits on the company's board of directors. To understand how this works mathematically, we need to introduce a formula. Do not worry, the math here is very straightforward, and we will walk through it step by step. Your ownership percentage in any company is calculated by taking the number of shares you own, dividing it by the total shares outstanding, and then multiplying that number by 100. Let us define those terms so we are all on the same page. The shares you own is simply the number of stock slices you have purchased. The total shares outstanding is a technical term that simply means the total number of slices the company has cut its pizza into and distributed to the public and its employees. Let us look at how this works in the real world. Imagine a small local bakery. The owner of the bakery wants to raise money to buy a new oven, so they decide to divide the bakery's ownership into 100 equal shares. If you buy one of those shares, you own one share. The total shares outstanding is 100. Using our formula, you divide your one share by the 100 total shares outstanding, which gives you 0.01. Multiply that by 100, and you get exactly 1%. You legally own 1% of that bakery. If the bakery has $1,000 in cash at the end of the year and decides to distribute it to the owners, you are legally entitled to $10, which is exactly 1% of that cash. When we deal with massive public companies like Palantir, the mechanics are exactly the same, but the numbers are much, much larger. Instead of 100 shares, these companies have billions of shares outstanding. This is why your ownership slice is microscopic, but it is still incredibly real and protected by law. When you buy a share, you are entering into a legal contract of ownership. You are no longer just an observer of the economy. You are an owner of the businesses that drive it. Now that we understand the concept, Let us look at some real-world numbers using Palantir and compare it to its peers so you can see how this works in action. To do this, we need to look at three main numbers: the stock price, the total shares outstanding, and the market capitalization, which is often just called the market cap. Let us define market capitalization first. The market cap is the total dollar value of all of a company's outstanding shares. To find this, you simply multiply the current stock price of a single share by the total number of shares outstanding. This tells you how much it would cost to buy the entire company or the whole pizza at market prices. Let us look at the actual data for Palantir. At the time of this analysis, Palantir has a stock price of approximately $43 per share. That sounds relatively affordable, right? Many beginners look at a $43 stock price and think, this is a cheap stock, so I should buy a lot of it. But remember, the stock price only tells you the cost of one single slice. It does not tell you how many slices the pizza has been cut into. To find that, we look at Palantir's total shares outstanding. Palantir has approximately 2,250,000,000 shares outstanding. That is an incredibly large number of slices. If we take our formula and multiply $43 by 2,250,000,000 shares, we get a market capitalization of roughly $97 billion. That is the total value of the entire Palantir pizza. Now, let us compare Palantir to one of its massive peers in the technology space, like Microsoft, which trades under the ticker symbol MSFT. Microsoft has a stock price of approximately $420 per share. If you just look at the stock price, Microsoft looks 10 times more expensive than Palantir. But let us look at the shares outstanding. Microsoft has roughly 7,400,000,000 shares outstanding. If we multiply $420 by 7 billion for 100 million shares, we get a massive market capitalization of over $3 trillion. What does this comparison show us? It shows us that Palantir is a much smaller company overall than Microsoft, but its individual slices are priced differently relative to what the business actually produces. While Palantir offers exciting growth in artificial intelligence and data analytics, its high valuation means you are paying a premium for your slice of the company. Let us calculate your exact ownership percentage if you were to invest $1,000 into Palantir. With a stock price of $43, your $1,000 would allow you to buy approximately 23 shares of Palantir. Now, let us use our ownership formula. We take your 23 shares and divide them by Palantir's 2,250,000,000 shares outstanding. When you do that division on a calculator, you get a number with a lot of zeros, 0.000000001. To turn that into a percentage, we multiply by 100. This gives you an ownership percentage of 0.0000001% of Palantir. That might sound incredibly small, and it is. But here is the exciting part. You now legally own that exact percentage of a $97 billion enterprise. You own a tiny fraction of every piece of software they sell to the government, every commercial contract they sign with major corporations, and every piece of technology they develop. You did not have to build the company. You do not have to manage the employees, and you do not have to worry about the daily operations. The founders and employees of Palantir are working every single day to make your tiny slice more valuable. That is the true power of investing in stocks. Now that you know how to calculate your ownership, we need to talk about the single biggest trap that beginner investors fall into. It is a mistake that costs people thousands of dollars, and it stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of what a stock actually is. The wrong approach, which unfortunately is how most people start, is treating stock certificates like lottery tickets or casino chips. A beginner will open a brokerage account, see a chart of Palantir going up and down, and buy a few shares simply because they hope the price will go up. They do not know what the company does, they do not know how it makes money, and they have no idea if the company is actually profitable. They are just staring at a daily price chart, riding an emotional roller coaster of fear and greed. If the stock goes down 5%, they panic and sell for a loss. If it goes up, they feel like geniuses and buy more at the very top. This is not investing, it is gambling. And the reason people gamble is because they do not view the stock as a piece of a real business. They view it as a digital token. Let us look at a relatable story of how this plays out. Imagine a beginner named Alex. Alex hears on social media that Palantir is a hot stock and that artificial intelligence is the future. Alex does not do any research, opens an app, and buys $1,000 worth of Palantir at $43 a share. The next day, some bad news comes out about the broader economy, and Palantir's stock price drops to $38 a share. Alex looks at the app, sees that the $1,000 is now worth $880, and panics. Alex thinks, I am losing money. This stock is a scam, and sells everything to prevent further losses. Alex just lost $120 in 24 hours because of fear. Now, let us look at the right approach. A smart investor treats a stock purchase exactly like buying a local business. If you were going to buy a local car wash down the street, you would not just look at a sign on the wall that says the price of the car wash went up 5%. You would ask to see the financial books. You would want to know how much revenue the car wash brings in, what its expenses are, and how much profit is left over at the end of the month. You would evaluate if the price the owner is asking is justified relative to other car washes in the area. And if you bought that car wash, you would not try to sell it the very next day just because it rained and fewer cars came in. You would hold on to it because you believe in its long-term business fundamentals. This is exactly how you must think about stocks. Instead of focusing on daily price charts, you must focus on business fundamentals. Look at revenue growth, which tells you if the company is selling more of its products over time. Look at profitability, which tells you if the company actually knows how to keep some of the money it makes. Compare valuation metrics to evaluate if the stock price is justified relative to industry peers. And most importantly, ignore short-term noise and hold high-quality companies through temporary market dips. To help you stay on the right track, here is a pro tip that you should memorize and use for every single investment you ever make. Never buy a stock unless you can explain what the company does and how it makes money in under 2 sentences to a 12-year-old. If you cannot do that, you do not own a business. You own a ticker symbol you do not understand. For example, if you were buying Palantir, you should be able to say, Palantir builds software that helps large organizations analyze massive amounts of complicated data to make better decisions. They make money by signing long-term subscription contracts with governments and large businesses. If you can say that, you understand the business. If you cannot, step back and do more research before risking your hard-earned money. To make sure you never fall into this beginner trap, there is one specific signal you can look at in real time. It is called the price-to-earnings ratio, or the PE ratio. This ratio compares the company's stock price to its actual profit per share. If you see a company whose stock price is skyrocketing, but its PE ratio is extremely high, or worse, the company has no earnings at all and therefore has no PE ratio, that is a major red flag. It tells you that the stock price is being driven by hype and emotion, not by business fundamentals. Checking this one ratio before you buy will instantly protect you from buying into overhyped bubbles that are about to burst. As we wrap up episode, let us summarize the 3 key takeaways you should carry with you as you start your investing journey. First, a stock is not just a digital ticker symbol on your phone. It represents a legal, fractional ownership slice of a real, living corporation with physical assets, employees, and profits. Second, the price of a single share does not tell you how much a company is worth. You must look at the market capitalization, which is the stock price multiplied by the total shares outstanding, to understand the true size and value of the business pizza. And third, to succeed over the long term, you must stop thinking like a gambler looking at daily price charts and start thinking like a business owner who focuses on revenue, profits, and long-term business fundamentals. To put this into practice right away, here is your forward application challenge. The next time you look at any stock, find its price-to-earnings ratio, or PE ratio. As a general rule of thumb for beginners, if a company's PE ratio is above 30, it signals that investors are paying a high premium for future growth, which means the stock carries higher risk. If the PE ratio is below 20, it may signal that the stock is more reasonably priced relative to its current profits. If the company has no PE ratio because it is not making any money, that is your signal to proceed with extreme caution and do deeper research before investing. One important reminder before you go: everything on Denver Stock Lab is for educational purposes only. Investing is a deeply personal decision. Your financial goals, your personal timeline, and your individual risk tolerance are completely unique to you. Use what you learn here to study harder, ask smarter questions, and then make your own informed decisions. The work of researching and understanding these businesses is yours to do, and that work is absolutely worth it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and want to build your investing knowledge step by step, make sure to subscribe to Denver Stock Lab for weekly market analysis and the next episode of Stock 101, where we will dive into how stocks actually trade on the stock market. We will see you in the next episode.